We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or, if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south-of-the-border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
I'm former Major League pitcher Andy Pettitte. I teamed up with Tunnel to Towers after seeing their life-changing work with military and first responder families. Now we're expanding our mission to help veterans struggling with homelessness. We want to help them rebuild their lives not only by giving them a home, but by providing the services they need. Please join me in donating at t2t.org.
My name is Wally Joyner. I was a first baseman for the Angels, Padres, Royals, and Braves. I give the Tunnel to Towers because of what they provide for the veterans, the military, the first responders, the police, the firemen who go out and put their lives in danger for our freedoms. I think it's an incredible charity, an incredible foundation. Their goals of helping the families that protect us. I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation. The foundation is committed to delivering mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responder families with young children. Never forget.
Night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos Racecourse. The Los Alamitos early and late pick fours with outstanding pools and big payouts. Here are some of our recent pools. The pool is over $214,000 on June 23rd and over $240,000 on May 26th. And the late pick four often has pools of over $150,000. And remember, our $10,000 pick six promo on Sundays. Night racing's best bets are at Los Alamitos, Saturday and Sunday nights.
The following is a Race Day Las Vegas presentation in association with Siraco Productions Limited on the Race Day Las Vegas Radio Network.
Live from the gaming capital of the world, time for Race Day Las Vegas, covering the sport of kings with a Las Vegas perspective. Now to the race desk with your host, Ralph Siraco.
From the backstretch to the turf club, at the racebooks and on the internet, to all horse players around the world, a good morning.
Alrighty, good morning everybody. Welcome to the Race Day Las Vegas radio program for this Friday. We come to you live and direct from the gaming capital of the world, Las Vegas, Nevada. Right here at our studio, the South Point Studios at the South Point Hotel Casino Complex on Las Vegas Boulevard, right here in Las Vegas, your gaming capital. And we are on the South Point Studio streaming network at YouTube. And we hope you join us on YouTube soon. If you haven't already, remember, just go to YouTube, punch in South Point Studios on the search bar. Click that. You'll be here. Click us, and you're already set and go. And we remind you that if you haven't subscribed already, do so. It is free of charge, so go ahead and subscribe. And when you subscribe, then you become a chatter. You can start on the chat room. And our chat room is already pretty active this morning, talking about how great our handicappers are doing, or lack thereof right now. And certainly some of the chat room folks are offering some of their picks themselves. So get on the chat room here at the South Point Studios Race Day Show on YouTube. And, of course, again, subscribe. Just make sure you can hit subscribe if you haven't already. All right, and we welcome all of our listeners on our many different other platforms that include our local radio station, Sports Talk 1400 AM, 107.1 FM, and of course our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global. You know, you repeat it with me every day. Of course, we have new listeners every day, and we want to welcome all of our listeners that listen on all of our platforms every day, and that's why we do this welcome in the morning each day at the top of the show. We also want to welcome all of you that, of course, have your apps on your devices, iPhone, Android apps. So, of course, the KSHP app, you get the radio signal, and the YouTube app, you can see and hear us as well. And, of course, our websites, racedaylasvegas.com, .vegas, .world, .global, iPhone, Android, and, of course, podcasting as well. So, however, wherever you get us, welcome to the show. The big news, of course, in racing this week and this weekend is the weather. First of all, the weather here in Las Vegas, we had some drizzles overnight, and we have it overcast outside. We're getting into that monsoon type of weather. And so right now, it's only 84 degrees outside and overcast. We're only going to get up to 108 today, which tells you the weather is kind of like this all over the country. But as far as the real weather concerns, and you know what it is, it's that hurricane, the tropical storm, they call it, Hurricane Debby. And that thing's been running havoc all over the East Coast now. Debby's remnants bring flooding rain. You got gusty winds, tornado threats on the East Coast, etc. And, it's just running havoc through the East Coast. So much so, here's the deal, okay? Here's what happened. First of all, we got, I'll give you the temperatures right away. Miami's 89. New York is 81, but that storm is running right up the East Coast now. It's going to run havoc on the East all throughout the weekend, unfortunately. LA's at 86, Phoenix is 108, and of course, as you know, we'll get to 108 as well. So that's kind of like the weather conditions and temperatures around the country. We're starting to cool off from that big heat pocket that we had, but now we're getting the hurricane into the hurricane season. So what happened? Yesterday, as you know, Colonial Downs canceled. They canceled yesterday and today, and they're moving the big Saturday Arlington Million card to Sunday at Colonial Downs, okay? So Colonial Downs is canceled today and tomorrow, okay? So those are the cancellations there. Now, you got Charlestown, Evangeline Downs canceled after we went off the air yesterday. Evangeline Downs got through 7 races, and they canceled the 8th race yesterday as the storm was moving through. And I'm sure you saw yesterday, right about midway through the card, as a matter of fact, I made the note on here. It was after at Saratoga. It was right after the 5th race at Saratoga, which was the first in the Pick 6 races, and it ran on the turf, that they took the rest of the races, the remaining races, off the turf because they got a big rainstorm that came between that race and the next race on the card. All right, we'll talk about that in just a minute. But so the rain started there, so much so that it rained so hard, etc., that today's entire racing card at Saratoga has been canceled. Okay? No racing today at Saratoga. It has been canceled, but they made that cancellation before the end of the races yesterday, which was a good move on their part. So they canceled racing today. And we will talk about how they are going to, no pun intended, jockey some of the stakes races over the weekend. So Saratoga is canceled today. In addition to Saratoga canceling today, already cancellations include Laurel Park and Delaware Park. Of course, you know about Colonial Downs. So right now you have Saratoga, Laurel, Delaware, and Colonial Downs all already canceled in racing today. And tomorrow the Colonial. So the Arlington Million races, that card moves to Sunday. Now we're talking about Saratoga. Saratoga, we got to follow the bouncing ball here. The Saratoga Derby and the 4-Star Dave that was scheduled for tomorrow's racing card at Saratoga have now been canceled tomorrow. Those 2 stakes races have been canceled tomorrow at Saratoga. They will move to Sunday. The original stakes races that were carded tomorrow at Saratoga, that include the Galloway, the Saratoga Special, and the rescheduled Troy Stakes, they will stay on the card tomorrow at Saratoga. All right? So now you got the Saratoga Derby and the 4-Star Dave moving to Sunday's card at Saratoga. And we will keep track of what's going on with them bouncing around these stakes races. But so far, that is the deal. I hope you kept up with that bouncing ball that we gave you. But simply put, today, Saratoga, Laurel, Delaware, and Colonial Downs are already canceled. Now, with Charlestown canceling yesterday and Evangeline Downs and Delaware Park late in the card, there could be cancellations again after we get off the air. Charlestown may very well cancel again after we get off the air. But so far, that is what's going on as far as the races, and it's all due to the hurricane and the storm and the tropical storm, and of course, in some places, threats of tornadoes and the remnants of that Hurricane Debby, the tropical storm that went through Florida earlier in the week and now making its way up to the West Coast. So that is the biggest news in horse racing for this weekend, is the weather and the cancellations. So we hope we got that pretty much straightened out for you, as good as we can get it, that's for sure. But it's a changing thing. So remember that. It's going to be changing, no doubt about that, for the weather there. And as far as that hurricane, like I said, it's making its way up to the northeastern corridor of the United States. Otherwise, everything else looks pretty clear across the country, with a pocket here or a pocket there. And like I said, for today here in Las Vegas, we're going to top out at 108. But we are under our monsoon conditions as well this time of year here. And I got to tell you, a lot of people who live here, it was a welcome to get that rain to cool off things a little bit, and it has done that for us here. In case you want to, make little travel plans to come on up and join us this weekend in Las Vegas, okay? Safi Joseph Jr. says that Skippy Long Stockings, which I guess you need long legs for the long stockings, but in any case, Skippy Long Stockings will be going for a second victory in the $1 million Charlestown Classic, and that'll happen on the 23rd of this month. So he's pointing for the Charlestown Classic, $1 million race at Charlestown. Of course, that Skippy Long Stockings won last year, and so we'll wait and see about that. And of course, there's several other horses that are preparing for races, like Torpedo Anna, of course, has been now officially going in the Travers Stakes against the boys. So that'll be really interesting as well. All right, so let's take a look at what happened yesterday. Got to tell you, folks, for those that were really seriously looking towards Saratoga and Del Mar to have some great racing cards, so far it has been few and far between. Yesterday at Saratoga, they knew the rain was coming. Okay, so yesterday at Saratoga, the 5th race started out the pick 6. In the pick 6 races yesterday, half of them were scheduled for the turf. The 5th race, the 9th and 10th races were scheduled for the turf. So they go ahead and start the pick 6. They run the 5th race on the turf at 1 3/8. The winner there was Aspen Grove, Tyler Gaffleone for Jack Sisterson, paying $3.70 as the favorite. Then between that 5th race and the 6th race, a big rainstorm came in. A lot of rain dumped in a short period of time. And they came on and announced that the 2 remaining races of the 5 remaining races left as in the pick 6 were coming off the turf. So they became alls, okay, because the pick 6 had already started. They became alls. So now you got the 7th race on the sloppy main track by then. The winner paid $8.50. Kenny McPeak and Carrera wins it with Julien Le Peru. Then you have the 8th race, where Mike Maker trained Lark's Mischief wins under Ired Ortiz Jr., pays $4.80. Then you got the transferred race from the turf to the main. Fancy Pants Juliana wins that for David Duncan, Ired Ortiz's second win of the day, paying $16.80. But that didn't matter because that was an all race in the pick six. All right, then you get to the 10th race on the main track from the turf. Winner there was Goats on Tree, Ired Ortiz Jr.'s third win in a row for Safi Joseph Jr., paying $7.60, and that didn't matter because that was an all. So here's how the deal went. The dollar pick six with 2 of the 6 races in the all position and the short prices in the other one except for the $16.80, which was an all anyhow. The dollar pick six paid $15.80. Contrastly, Ired Ortiz Jr. that won the 8th, the 9th, and the 10th races. He won 3 in a row. The Ired Ortiz Jr. dollar pick 3 paid $91.50. And, of course, there were a lot of other of the pools that were really shattered. In fact, the highest-priced winner of the day was that $16.80 winner in the 9th race, which didn't matter because that was an all. But that was the highest-priced winner on the day yesterday at Saratoga. So then we get to Del Mar. Beautiful conditions, fast, firm, and all that stuff. I don't know what they did to that track in the 2 days of maintenance, but whatever it did, they didn't do enough of it because speed horses were the absolute play of the day yesterday at Del Mar. The first race, McLaren Vale was running on the rail, was the speed, went wire to wire, paying $2.60 for John Sadler. The second race, I'm a Joker, Hector Barrios for Carla Gaines, close to the pace there, but it was on the turf. Remember, he got a really nice trip on the inside, but that was on the turf. Then we get to the third race, back on the main. Jubilant Joni with the Juan Hernandez wins for trainer Sean Williams. That horse went wire to wire. It was a ship and win, by the way, paying $3.40. So the early 50-cent pick 3 at Del Mar pays $3.60. So we get to we get to the fourth race. Fourth race, Princess is Olivia. Another ship and win horse, by the way. Joe Talamo riding for Bob Hess, pays $4.60. So that pick 3 that started in the second race, that 50-cent pick 3 paid $4.25. All right, then we get to the fifth race, a race for 2-year-old maidens on the turf. Turf, yep, Phil D'Amato, first-time starter. Nell's Legacy paying $5 even, went wire to wire in that 5-furlong turf race. Back to the main, 1 mile, 6th race on the card. Be Punctual, who came, believe it or not, stalked a 3-horse duel up front, right behind them. He's about a length and a half off of the lead. He circled those horses and won the race, so he came a little bit off the pace, but it was a speed duel up front. Be Punctual for Mario Gutierrez and Ed Freeman pays $9.80. And by the way, the favorite at 6-5, who was in mid-pack, never fired and finished 5th. 7th race, Wish They All Could Be, wins the race and finally came off the pace a little in a 6-furlong main race. It's the first horse that came a little bit off the pace all day to get up and win, paying $10.60, and that was the highest priced payoff of the day, $10.60 in the 7th race. Antonio Fresu's second win for trainer Hector Palma. That's the 7th race. And the 8th and final race, Zip Alm wins Antonio Fresu's 3rd win of the day, Carla Gaines' 2nd win of the day. This was a first-time starter on the turf at 5 furlongs. Zip Alm is an offspring of a horse called Alm, and Alm is a horse who upset the American Pharaoh in his 2-year-old debut right at Del Mar several years ago. Zip Alm paid $7.80. That was what happened yesterday at Del Mar. The pick 6, $1,836.70. But it was a lot of horses that were on or near the lead and didn't pay much yesterday, a $10.60 winner in the 7th race. Got to tell you, though, that pick 6 And again, the pick six, paying $340, $460, $5 even, $980, $1060, and $780, came back $1,800. That was pretty good for those priced horses, that's for sure. But it was kind of filthy chalk and filthy speed yesterday at both Del Mar and Saratoga. And with the weather playing havoc over the weekend, we really don't know what's going to happen, but we're going to try to get our arms around what's going on at those racetracks, certainly. And, of course, without Saratoga today, late start times for those of you who play Saratoga and Del Mar, 4 o'clock first post at Del Mar today. It is Friday, so you might be able to mow the lawn and do some of your honeydew list today before Del Mar starts. All right, that's it as far as the recap is concerned. We're going to start with our handicappers. Jonathan Ardoon is standing by, Rich Eng, John Lindo, and Jerry J. Of course, we have your racing menu, whatever's left to it today. All of that will begin right after our first break, so don't go away. We'll be right back.
From the South Point studio, the perfect blend of sports.
But I think the Niners are going to wear them down. Detroit Pistons lost their 36 games.
Comedy.
See over-under on that relationship lasting. I'm going to put mayo in the coffee.
Yes. I am beautiful. And a whole lot of Pittsburgh.
In Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh. Yeah. Pittsburgh.
Join Ryan McCormick.
That's at least 2 picks outside of our own in the first round next year. Oreo.
And host Frank Nicotero.
I look at the clock, I go, ah! Ah!
Oh! Watch Punchlines live at noon every weekday.
All right, back on Race Day Las Vegas. And again, we remind you that the weather is going to be a big factor in a lot of these racing and racetracks over the weekend. So let's get started with our racing menu today as we have it at the moment. Here's the racing menu of racetracks available today in the racebook, simulcast centers, and racetracks around the country. Reminding you, as we always do, the first post times we broadcast on the show each and every day reflect out the Pacific time zone because that's where we're at. These will be the first post times rolling out in the racebook here at the South Point, right behind us. And, of course, if you're in the Pacific time zone, no problem. If you're listening in any other time zone, adjust to the Pacific time zone, so you don't miss anything like I miss Mom and Dad. And, of course, remember, the first post times are Pacific, okay? We begin now the menu with a canceled racetrack. Laurel Park, that was set to go at 9:25, has been canceled. No racing today at Laurel. And the other cancellations include Delaware Park, Colonial Downs, and Saratoga. So Delaware Park is out of the menu as well. So we begin with the first track that is scheduled to race today, and that is, of course, Belterra Park. Belterra Park has a Super High 5 carryover, a regular Super High 5 carryover, $26,159. First post time for 8 races at Belterra is at 9:35. Gulfstream Park, 9 races today at Gulfstream. Their Pick 6 Rainbow Jackpot carryover is now building. The Pick 6 jackpot carryover today at Gulfstream, $94,025. 9 races, first post time at Gulfstream Park set at 9:55 at Gulfstream. Then we got Woodbine. Woodbine has 8 races north of the border. First post time is 10:05. Woodbine has a Super High 5 jackpot carryover of $60,983. And their first post time again at Woodbine is set at 10:05. 10:05 at Woodbine again. And again, their carryover for the Super High 5 jackpot, $60,983. Saratoga has been canceled. Cancel Saratoga. The 2 stakes races there, the Evan Shipman and the Union Avenue, will be rescheduled at a later time. All right, Monmouth Park is next. Monmouth Park, they're in that path too, so we'll wait and see if they go or not. Monmouth Park is still officially on today. Pick 6 jackpot carryover, $8,563 if they go. First post time for 8 races set at 11 a.m. Colonial Downs, as we said before, has been canceled. They would have gone at 1:30, but they are not racing today at Colonial. Then we go to Santa Rosa. Santa Rosa has 7 races today, and the first post time at Santa Rosa is at 2:15. 2:15 at Santa Rosa, the fair there, Northern California Fair. They have a Super High 5 carryover of $1,008 today at Santa Rosa. Then we go to Prescott, make that Penn National. Penn National is next. Penn National has a first post time of 2:45 for their 7-race card. Evangeline Downs is got 10 races right now. Evangeline Downs is a go. Of course, they canceled yesterday, but we'll wait and see if they go today at Evangeline Downs. First post time is 3:30 for their 10 races if they get underway. And then we have Del Mar, where the turf meets the surf. We know they're going to go because the weather is fine there. So they got 8 races today. The feature race is the $100,000 graduation stakes. First post time at Del Mar today is at 4 p.m. first post. Charlestown, and remember they were canceled yesterday, but if they go today, Charlestown has a first post time of 4 p.m. 4 p.m. first post time at Charlestown. Pick 6 jackpot carryover $7,718, 8 races and a first post time, again, if they go today at 4 p.m. All right, following that, another 4 o'clock first post is Prairie Meadows. Prairie Meadows has 10 races, 3/4 horse races, the first 3. The last 7 will be thoroughbreds. And they have a super high 5 jackpot carryover of $16,354. That at Prairie Meadows today, $16,354 in their carryover in their super high 5 jackpot. 3/4 horse races, 7 thoroughbred races. First post time is at 4 p.m. 4 p.m. at Prairie Meadows. Emerald Downs kicks in the Great Northwest with 7 races, and their first post time is at 7 p.m. And that, at the moment, is your racing menu. It could change at any time. We know that. Okay. Now let's go to Jonathan Hardoon standing by. Jonathan, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How are you?
Well, I'm doing fine here. How are you up there at Saratoga? I guess the rain came a little bit earlier than they expected yesterday at Saratoga, and they made that quick change that just decimated the pick 6 there at Saratoga yesterday.
But they knew the rain was coming, Ralph. They moved post times way up. The last race, post time was going to be about 20 minutes earlier than originally scheduled. They should have taken the races for the right off the bat off the grass. All they did was decimate the pick 6. They made it. I think you had 2 or 3 all races. You got $15 for picking 6. They just do things backwards up here. Believe me, I love this meet. I've been coming here. This is my 50th consecutive year here, and it's as bad as it's ever been. Tomorrow, they cancel race 6 and race 10. Excuse me, the Saratoga Derby Invitational and the 4-Star Dave. So what did they do? They blew up 2 pick 5s. So tomorrow, if you decide to come to Saratoga, and hopefully they'll run, you're only going to have 1 pick 5, the early pick 5. So, and those skate races will be a run on Sunday as the last 2 races, but they're not part of the horizontals. Why did they even write these races for Saturday? They knew this weather well enough in advance. They just do things backwards. Then when you finish with dealing with the East Coast, you go to Del Mar, and it's just a complete conveyor belt. I mean, there's absolutely zero handicapping skills. You just got to figure out who's going to be in front, and that's it. Race over. Too much chalk. This is supposed to be the best time of year for horse players, and unfortunately, so far, it's not working well. The good news is it's only the halfway mark of Saratoga, so hopefully the second half will be a lot better than the first half. And hopefully Del Mar will figure out what to do, either roll the track over. I don't know what they have to do, but they have to do something because nobody enjoys what's going on. Nobody wants to play a $14 pick 5. You just don't want it. Keep it. Don't have a pick 5 if they're going to give you $14. Pick 5 winners, you get $14. Ridiculous.
Yeah, well, now that we've switched your soapbox from Wednesday to Friday, couple of observations. First of all, yes, the players, I think, are a little bit disappointed. Let's just say disappointed. And
frustrated. Besides being disappointed.
Okay, our handicappers certainly are frustrated because you guys aren't doing well. Fair and balanced here. You're not doing well at all on the picks on the show, and I can understand why, because all of the handicappers on this show are looking for value. I mean, sometimes you wind up with the favorite, but it's not the intention. The intention is to look for value and make money for the listeners. So we understand that. And I haven't been beating you guys too much on that because I know your philosophy, and I know that overall, when things start coming back to what seems to be normal, we'll be doing okay. But I got to think that along with the players who are the end users, and of course the people who ultimately pay the bills, you got to think that some of the horsemen in both places are a little upset with the establishments as well, don't you?
Absolutely. Everyone is upset. Everyone is upset. And I'm sure management's not happy either. But sometimes you have to use common sense. To write 2 races tomorrow that you know are going to cancel and run on Sunday, what's the point to put them in, blow up 2 pick 5s? Use them as the last 2 races or use them as the first 2 races. Who cares? You don't blow up the whole card. They did it last Saturday and they did it again tomorrow.
All right, let me ask you this, Jonathan. You're looking at tomorrow's sheet. How many races are there tomorrow at Saratoga?
Well, there was supposed to be, they're going to be 2 less, but there was supposed to be, hold on, I'm getting there, Ralph. I think 11, maybe, hold on. 12 races were scheduled.
All right, so you got 12 races. What 2 races are now the ones that are going to be canceled and off the board?
Race 6 is no longer part of the program. And race 10 which is the Saratoga Derby, so that's off the board. And race 10, the 4-Star Dave, is also off the board.
So at least, will they have a pick 6 then? 4-Star Dave is in the pick 6.
You're right. They just blew up the pick 6 as well. I forgot about that. Good point. Unless they make it the first 6 races, and they're not going to change the betting.
All right.
They're not going to do it.
So instead of making that an all in the pick 6, they're just going to cancel out the pick 6 then, right?
Right. They're canceling 2 pick 5s and they're canceling the pick 6 and also pick 4s as well because those are part of pick 4 races.
Okay. Well, here we go.
Then they want to know why the handle is down. Well, the handle is down because of the way these geniuses lay races out. I guess
it is absolutely amazing that the handle is down just a fragment and not a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, we are players. People are out there wanting to play. We were very much looking forward to Saratoga and Del Mar. We certainly were. I know everybody out there that plays as well. And so it's a little bit, like you said, it's a little bit frustrating right now. But we're halfway through the meets, and let's hope that we have a big finish, let's say.
We're going to finish strong, Ralph. We're going to finish strong.
All right, we're going to finish strong, that's for sure. All right, well, there's no Saratoga today. So I would imagine that you probably did another sheet. What sheets do you have available today?
All I have today is Gulfstream and Del Mar. I was afraid to do Gulfstream because I thought the weather may be involved there, but believe it or not, it's not. They're on the grass and it's fast and firm. So
well, Debby moved. The hurricane moved through there along the western front and then crossed over the state of Florida and now on the eastern front, and that all happened on the western front of Florida, et cetera. That all happened earlier in the week. So that thing is up and moving and gone. The only thing that might cancel racing at Gulfstream is if the rain was so hard there that it flooded out maybe the barn area or whatever. But like you say, they say it's fast and firm today at Gulfstream?
Yeah, and I'm glad you're on a first-name basis with the hurricane. Debby.
Yeah, Debby, yes. Well, I know you're on a first-name basis with a Debby, and I'm not going to accuse her of being a hurricane, but nevertheless... we'll leave it at that because I don't want to sleep on the couch tonight. So anyhow, here's the deal. Where are we going with some picks?
Let's go to Gulfstream. Look at race number 8, 5 furlongs on the turf. And I like the number 4 horse in here, Autonomy. This horse tried the grass last time for the first time, and she ran sneaky well there. She had trouble in that race. She's listed at 4-1 on the morning line. Mauricio Vasquez aboard for trainer Jose D'Angelo. Number 4, Autonomy, wins today's 8th race out at Gulfstream Park.
All right, the 8th race at Gulfstream Park today. You like the 4 Autonomy, the 4 in the 8th race at Gulfstream. And Del Mar is running today, and I hope you found a horse that has speed.
That's the problem, Ralph. When you're handicapping, first you got to find the horse you like, and then the horse has to fit the profile of
right
the
now, yeah.
Yeah. And let's look at the 3rd race today, Ralph. 6 furlongs on the main track. I like the number 4 horse in here. She's Moi Moi. 4-year-old filly for the Mark Lat Barn, Kyle Frey aboard to ride. This horse has 3 races this year, 2 of them on the dirt, 1 of them on the turf. Throw out the turf race. Either one of the dirt races good enough to get the job done. This horse has enough early speed to be forwardly placed. You're getting 5-1 on the morning line. Number 4, She's Moi Moi, who wins today's third race out at Del Mar.
All right, she's Moi Moi. The 4-horse in the third race at Del Mar is Jonathan Hardoon's picks. And, of course, Jonathan, full sheets for Del Mar and Gulfstream are available right now at your websites. And we have some of our chatters who are giving us some horses. And I'm going to relay some of those to the folks out there. I'm not going to give the person's name. I'll just give the person's first name. And if you have any reservations about us broadcasting whatever's on the chat, please put it on the chat and let us know. But Ira, he has a value play in Del Mar's 7th race. He likes the 2-horse, the Gypsy Cowboy at 20-1. Okay, Ira, we're depending on you to get a long shot there. Ira likes a Gypsy Cowboy. And James at Del Mar likes something in the 5th race. In the 5th race, James likes Wind Ribbon at 6-1 on the morning line. That's the 3-horse Wind Ribbon. He says Peter Miller claimed the horse, and he's an 8-year-old. So, maybe Mr. Miller knows he's got a few wins left in him there. And those are our chatters there. And like I say, jump on the chat line. We'd love to converse, and we'd love to get back and forth with people watching and listening to the show. And we all want to share some ideas and get some horses.
I think it's a great idea. Even though they have every right to abuse the handicappers on this show, So what? We deserve it if we don't give out winners. And I think it's a great addition, and people really should take advantage of it, enjoy it. And tomorrow, Ira could be filling in for me, and or someone else if their 20-1 shot comes in.
All I can say, Jonathan, is I know that most of the people, in fact, almost all of the people who watch and listen to the show understand that this is the MO in racing. You can get hot, you can get hot. But they, we want handicappers that do the work, have good handicapping skills, and play what they say they pick. And that's what happens here, that's for sure. So we'll hopefully that we finish strong. Anyhow, we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, Ralph. Stay safe and be well.
All right, you got it. We'll be back with more of the Race Day Show with Rich Eng's coming up next. Don't go away.
Thank you, buddy. There are many families that need your help. I'm Mark Wahlberg, and I'm asking you to support the Tunnel to Towers Foundation in their efforts to deliver mortgage-free homes to catastrophically injured service members, Gold Star, and fallen first responders families with young children, as well as eradicating homelessness amongst our veterans.
Everybody knows where the money's going. Every single dollar. God bless you.
Please contribute $11 a month to support their efforts by visiting T2T.org.
Hello, I'm Dennis Quaid. For years, Tunnel to Towers has demonstrated a commitment to first responders and military families. They've paid off mortgages and built specially adapted smart homes. Now the foundation is expanding its mission to eradicate veteran homelessness. Please give our veterans a chance to reclaim their dignity by donating at T2T.org.
South Point is also proud to provide a variety of relaxing amenities for the guests who want to be pampered. Soak up the sun and let your stress melt away in our lagoon-style Paradise swimming pool. A relaxing getaway where you can bask in the desert sun and enjoy seasonal food and bar service poolside. And if you really want to escape, come to Spa Costa del Sur. From couple suites to a co-ed wet area, our spa caters to business and leisure travelers who want to unwind and elevate their senses. A visit to one of our spa's steam, sauna, or whirlpool treatment rooms will leave any guest feeling like they can take on the world.
Okay, back on Race Day Las Vegas for this Friday. And Ira, There's no pressure on you, my man. You're giving us a nice 20-1 shot. We know that 20-1 shots don't win as much as 3-5 shots do, but we'll take a look, that's for sure. So we want to take the pressure off of Ira there. All right, now we're going to go to Mr. Rich Eng standing by. Richie, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Ralphie. Good morning, viewers. Good morning, listeners.
Are you about as frustrated as our other handicappers with the situation with the on and off races and canceling a lot of the pools at Saratoga? And it seems like all of the speed horses that have the advantage right now at Del Mar?
Well, I think frustration was a good word that Jonathan used, especially at Saratoga. You're trying to play weatherman and predict what is going to happen, and then Jonathan was talking about moving races around and stuff like that. Believe me, Naira, and I used to work for Naira around back in the early '80s. But, they're trying to do the right thing. And even though they have been kind of stumbling over their own footsteps a little bit, they are trying to do the right thing, even though things aren't working out very well for them. It's really difficult to try to make the right decisions and things like that. It's not always as clear cut as it seems on surface.
Yeah, that is true. But as Jonathan said, this was not a surprise. Like sometimes at Saratoga, you and I both know from being there and working there, that at Saratoga sometimes in the daytime, like it is here in Las Vegas, sometimes it looks is pretty clear and clear and nice and all that, and then the conditions between the surface temperatures and the humidity and the moisture, you get what they call the monsoon conditions that come in within a half an hour, and they come blowing through, and then another half an hour later the track is sloppy, but it's sunny again. But this time that was not the case because we saw that storm coming up. The predictions were there that this storm was going to hit there, and maybe they should have used a little bit more common sense.
Yeah, I understand where you're coming from. I mean, look at some of the other tracks in the area. Ralph, Colonial Downs, for example, has had to cancel 3 days in a row, and they moved the Arlington Million card to Sunday. And,
yeah, and they did, but they canceled ahead of time because they saw the, tract of the weather, where it was coming from. They canceled ahead of time. People knew that ahead of time.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I'm glad that Saratoga, though, took the step to cancel the races today before the people left the track yesterday. That was good. That's for sure. All right. So listen, we have. By the way, we had 2 preseason games yesterday in the NFL?
Yeah, there were a couple of them. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole thing, but I did watch pieces of and highlights. The Patriots had their first game under the new coach Mayo, and they beat up on the Falcons. Not the Falcons, the Panthers, 17-3, and the line movement on the game was something pretty significant that you'll see in the preseason. Patriots opened up something like a 2-point favorite, ended up as a 7-point favorite and covered. And then the New York Giants at home beat the Detroit Lions 14-3. But before anybody who's a Giant fan starts celebrating and getting playoff tickets, believe me, it's a lot different when the other team starts trying, and the Lions are going to be fine, Ralph. But when we come to December.
Okay. Well, we have a late start, so you can do more studying on the NFL before races start for your selections. And that, of course, is at Del Mar, first post time, 4 p.m. Where are we going?
Yeah, if I could give out a lean for a football game tonight, one of the preseason games.
Sure.
Typically in past years, the teams that come out of the Hall of Fame game have a small edge when they play their second exhibition game against the team that's playing their first exhibition game. And one of those examples is tonight with the Texans playing at the Pittsburgh Steelers. The Texans did play that abbreviated game in the Hall of Fame game that got canceled in the third quarter. But, they had a chance to block and tackle a little bit. And their veteran quarterbacks, Davis and Case Keenum, give them a slight edge when they're playing with the backup. So I would lean toward the Houston Texans at -2 tonight. And as far as a pick, Ralph, let's go to race number 2 at Del Mar. It's a mile on the grass. And let's go with the third choice in the morning line, number 5, True Patriot. 4-1's the morning line. One of my favorite jockeys to bet on, Kazushi Kimura, picks up the mount for trainer Carly Gaines. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Carly Gaines, by the way, Frank, who's on our chat, says that he's been keeping track, and Sadler He likes that horse as well with Cameron Gaines in the second race. So you got another fan out there that likes that horse too. So in the second race, you like the 5, True Patriot, 4-1 on the morning line. I hope we can get that with the Kazuchi Kimura board. Second race, the 5 for Rich Eng, and of course the rest you can get right now at his website, at our website, racedaylasvegas.com. All right, Richie, we'll keep an eye on that football for us, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
Yeah, Frank and myself put a lot of weight on that horse. Let's get the horse home.
Let's get that horse home. That's for sure. Thanks, Richie.
Okay, take care. Good luck, everybody.
All right, we wrap it up with John and Jerry. They are up next, so don't go away.
South Point offers all the types of entertainment you'd expect at a first-class Las Vegas resort. Did you know our 400-seat showroom is one of Las Vegas's top destinations for live entertainment? Enjoy live performances by classic Vegas entertainers, bands, and today's hottest comedians, plus a rock and dance floor. You can also enjoy live entertainment at the Grand View Lounge, where you'll feel all the vibes of old Las Vegas. Enjoy the music, and if you love to laugh, don't miss The Dirty at 12:30, our very own free comedy show, every Friday night at 12:30 a.m. in the Grand View Lounge. The Dirty is 100% free, so arrive early. Go to southpointcasino.com or call the box office at 77136 for today's performances at the showroom and the Grand View Lounge. When you're ready for your favorite cocktail, stop in and unwind at one of our 7 specialty lounges. There's a bar around every corner, because you're in Vegas, baby.
The traditional $2 Pick 6 at Los Alamitos is always a great bet. And when there's not a Pick 6 carryover on Sunday nights, we'll add $10,000 to the Pick 6 pool. Every Sunday night, we'll have either a Pick 6 carryover or the 10,000 Pick 6 promo, leading to gigantic total pools, like the $286,000 pool on May 19th and over $269,000 on June 8th. The traditional $2 Pick 6. A great bet, a great deal. Always at Los Alamitos.
The Race Day Las Vegas Show, the only exclusive daily local media racing information source in Las Vegas.
Okay, back on Race Day Las Vegas, putting a cap on the Friday show. Again, keep looking for late additions to any cancellations out there. But so far, the cancellations we gave you are still the only ones that are canceling today because of the Hurricane Debby, the storm there. All right, now we're going to go to John Lindo standing by. John, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph. How you doing?
Yeah, we got really good handicapping listeners out there, and on the chat. Frank and Richie landed on a horse in the second race, that True Patriot. And when Frank heard Richie gave it, he says he's going to double his bet.
Well, I hope they both win.
Yeah, so do I. Come on, what's going on with Del Mar?
You know, I wish I knew. You had everything I was told in that first race yesterday, a mile race where they went the first quarter in 21-4, the half mile in 44-4. They walk home the mile in 138 and change, and nobody could pass anything. It was a parade down the stretch. So when you can't close into those fractions, you know what kind of track you've been handed for the day, and that's why you just have to kind of pay attention and adjust on the fly as you're playing the races every day. You know, we have a 4 o'clock post today. Maybe the later post will change things, but for now, it looks like status quo on that main track at Del Mar.
You know, it looks to me as if now we're trying to dissect the sections of the racetrack that may be different. Looks to me that from the top of the stretch to the wire, you want to be on the rail. Horses in the middle of the track just aren't getting as much traction, and those rail horses sometimes that are maybe a length or two or even head-to-head at the top of the stretch manage to hold off anybody who's closing, etc., and keeps going and wins.
I agree. There is nothing wrong with being down on that fence during the stretch run. It just seems like horses will range up, but they can't get by. And that is not the usual case at Del Mar. It's a different track than we've seen in years past.
Well, John, your Lindo report is available right now here at the South Point free of charge. You have all the races, selections, a suggested late pick 4, and all the goodie information at the bottom. A couple of Shipton wins won yesterday, and you note that as well on the Lindo report. So you can get the comprehensive Lindo report for Del Mar today only in one place here in Las Vegas, in your gaming capital, right here at the South Point Racebook, free of charge, complimentary, because they love horse players here. John, what are we doing?
I'm going to go to race number 5 today, Ralph. In that 5th race, number 9, Joe Don Looney needed his comeback race in May, got tired against a much tougher field, drops in with Cowbridge today, a steady work pattern out of that race. This is a horse that traditionally gets better second start off a layoff. I think the drop is live here. We got a fair price of 6-1. So number 9, Joe Don Looney. Let's look for a better race. Race 5 today at Del Mar.
All right, in the 5th race today at Del Mar, and of course that concludes the early pick 5. In that race, you like number 9, Joe Don Looney. The 9, Joe Don Looney. In the 5th race is John Lindo's pick off the Lindo report, and of course, John, the Lindo report, the rest of it right here at the South Point free of charge. By the way, Frank is telling us that John Sadler is 30% right now with winners at Del Mar. He's having a great meet, huh?
Yeah, well, when you drop horses from 80 to 20, they tend to run pretty good.
I guess so. May not be too complimentary to the owners that just lost $60,000 on the turnaround, but nevertheless, I hope they bet enough.
Well, the Ronas family, they're not afraid to drop and win. There are barns. Linda Rice does it in New York. There are people that will go ahead. Let's win the race. If we lose the horse, we'll get another. Yeah. And it's just, you set up a game plan and you go with it.
Certainly, that's for sure. Let's set up a game plan and start winning there at Del Mar. Thanks a lot, John. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Ralph. Good luck today.
All right, now we're going to wrap it up with Jerry Jackowitz standing by. Jerry, good morning.
Good morning, Ralph.
Let me ask you this: Did you save some time and work for Saratoga for today because they did cancel the races early yesterday for today?
Yeah, no, I never did any work on Saratoga yesterday, so it was like a holiday for me in a way. But
all right,
who wants it?
So
it's a holiday, right?
Yeah, right. Right now, there's.
I got in the hot tub. If I use the time for a hot tub.
You use the time for your hot tub. Well, then let's hope that that built up the juices for handicapping today. That's for sure. We have Del Mar. It starts at 4:00. Power pages for Del Mar available right now at jerryjacepowerpage.com. So what are we doing, hot tub, Jerry?
I'm going to go to the 8th race. I like number 1, Explain This Audit, from Craig DeLacy. Turning back in distance, mile and 3/8 to a mile, something I always kind of like. Just really nice value at 4-1 or better, I think. And so I'm liking the horse an awful lot. The last race maybe took the worst of it. So this could be a good play here today. I like the 1 in race number 8. Explain This Audit. I'll play it over the 2, 3, and 8. Do my reverses. The 1 will do.
All right. So number 1, Explain This Audit. 8th race at Del Mar, mile on the turf. Final race at Del Mar for today. In the 8th race, number 1, Explain This Audit. At 5-1 on the morning line is Jerry's pick. The link-ups include numbers 2, 3, and 8 and reverse. And that's his play at Del Mar. And Jerry, I would have to say that do you do anything differently when you're handicapping like the races at Saratoga when these big downpours come in and you know the track's going to be sloppy, etc.?
Well, the first thing you have to do is you have to make an assessment of each horse.
Yeah.
And that's done separately from the condition. You have to learn about each horse. As you see, I rate them, however anybody does, but I rate them on where I think they're going to be at today. There's a lot of other factors you have to think about. And sometimes you have to match up to the wet condition or what have you. So that becomes an aspect. And then in the end, it's odds. It's really odds. If I learned one thing over my 50 years of playing horses, getting good value makes all the difference.
Yes, value will sometimes make up for some losing streaks, etc. Because when you look for value, you don't have to hit a lot of races to get even and make money when you're always looking for value in a race. That's for sure.
But your handicapping should be the same.
Yeah.
Because if you change for every condition that you come across, you never end up with a style of handicapping
to where you can really get a good value assessment for yourself.
Okay.
So you have to have the same ideas pushing through.
All right, you got it. We're pushing and we are pushing time as well. Want to thank all the chatters out there. Get on board and chat with us every day on the Race Day Show. And until tomorrow, come rain or shine, God willing, and the creek don't rise, we'll be here. One more thing to say, Jerry's saying it.
Have a great race day, everybody.